And welcome, greetings to all of you. So, yeah, maybe the music's too high. Yeah, that should be better. Okay. So, what's the plan today? First of all, I'm trying to solve some recoil puzzles and talk about some of the properties. Why? Well, because we are here with the turn 5 of the Skunkrus League, and I know for sure that someone had some thoughts, some questions about it. So they asked me to share some insights on Turn 5. That is fine. So this one is Turn 5. So maybe it's also good to have a look at it. Well, the whole point is that we are setting a recoil puzzle. What a recoil puzzle is something that was pretty much unknown because there was only this puzzle that, for my immense pleasure, now is rated. And well, I am on the Skakors Studio voice chat, so if you want to be here, you can. And if you are watching this video via the VOD or via YouTube, well, you can't join the Skunkworks studio right now, but you can at least see what's going on. So this GIF, I think, explains a lot about what a recoil puzzle is. The whole point is that you have to fill in the entire grid with a path, and every time you make a move, you are creating a recoiled cell in the opposite direction, in the first cell that you can see in the opposite direction. And that cell, as you can see, can be just through other cells, other recoil cells, other path cells, or gaps in the grid and stuff like that. So that's pretty much it. Well, I think that who is watching this video or watching this stream knows already what a recoil puzzle is. But I wanted to just show something. So, Hirat, you aren't show the right thing on your screen. Oh, yes. I'm sorry. Oh, okay. Thank you. Am I showing the right thing on Discord? Yes, I am. Okay, fine. Thanks, Niv. Thank you. Okay, now it's the right thing. So, well, this one is the turn 5. So, again, you're solving this recoil puzzle, and I mean, you imagined, but this is the point. You can see the GIF now. So, yeah, let's take 1 minute to appreciate it, and then move on. So, for many of you, probably, well, the standard ideas are already known. So please forgive me. Probably you are losing your time just watching this, but for the others who asked for the insights and for the very basic graphs on what's the intuition in terms of logic that you must do to solve your puzzles, to solve those puzzles. I mean, yeah, I'm here for that. For that reason, what we will do? Well, we will solve this one. That was the thing that I made yesterday just to have fun. We will try this one that is a bookman puzzle, an official submission, just to again grasp a little bit with what's going on, and also I wanted to solve another of the unofficial submissions, but you must let me just a second. I'm opening it. So if I do this search, I should see. Hmm, isn't it? It's not showing it. Yeah, give me a second. I'll just go back to the channel to find the right link. Oh, probably it's because it was sent in another chat. Maybe yes. Wait a second. Hmm. Yeah, it was sent in another chat, it seems. Okay. So was it in voice chat? Probably. Let's see. Okay, last try. If I don't find it, we'll just start with this. Sorry. Oh yeah, yeah. Okay, I found it. Nice. I just found it. That was this one. Yeah. Yes. Okay. Okay, that's good. So, okay, let's start. Okay, first of all, with the editor, you can already see what happens when you draw some lines. So every time you draw a line, you are creating like a clone in the opposite direction. This means that like the first deduction that you can make about a global implication of that is that the entire grid must be made of an odd number of cells, because you like have this cell and this cell, and then another cell and another cell, and so on and so on and so on, plus the original cell. So it's always an odd number of cells. Now, why is this relevant? It's not well, in terms of just knowing that it's an odd number of cells, but it's a little bit more relevant in terms of the fact that you have like if you have 2n+1 number of cells, then you already know that well, n+1 are path cells and n are recoil cells, because you are just splitting the 2n+1 in two. So you have that type of things. Now, the other thing that you know is that you have always problems at the border of the grid. Why? Let me place like the diamond here. The diamond is the starting point, okay? And imagine that I want to go up. When I try to go up, I'm using the last cell here. So this means that from this direction, I can't really add more cells because if I try to do that, this one doesn't add the recoil cell. This means that I must like turn, and then when I go up again, I now I have another free space. So if I want to go up, I must go up at least two, at most two. So this thing, this type of things is also interesting, because now, I mean, you can continue, and now we have 1, 2, 4, 8, and stuff like that. So every time you move from one direction to another direction, I'm just talking about the standard implications, simple implications of what's going on with the geometry, okay? Like the first thing that you can see is just that every time you make a step to the right or to the left, you are going in a direction, adding cells that can be recoiled. So like if you have a staircase here, you can like 1, 2, and 3, right? So you have that kind of stuff. But if you want to maximize that, I mean, you can't ever go more than 1, 2, 4, 8, and so and stuff like that. If you have that kind of situation, the thing is different when you return. Why? Because when you do stuff like this, it's just again, I'm starting with local deductions, just because I want like people to understand the literal starting implications of this before going to other stuff. So like when I want to return, now I can't go up again because I'm using that, okay? And this must be important, and I will show you why this is important in a second. So you get this, and why this is important, because well, when you do that, you are using this cell, and now you can't have other vertical segments anywhere here unless you are using some stuff that is left empty. What do I mean with that? That I can do that. Why? Because now I'm using this. Why? Because every time I make a step, I'm using the nearest empty cell in the opposite direction. So I can't really do this because this one would imply that I need some stuff down here. But I can do stuff like this, if I'm using this cell or this cell as empty cell. In this case, I can't do that, so I should do that. And I can't do that for the same reason I just said. I can't go from 1 to 3 if I don't have enough space down. That's the whole point. So again, it's just to help people understand just the starting of this. Anyway, but this means that when that is the other important thing. When you go down, now you have a problem from the last row, because you cannot really leave the border, at least not always, right? Why I'm saying that? Because when you do that, now you can't go up because you don't have a recoiled cell down, or I mean a cell that can be recoiled. But the same applies on the other side. So, for example, you can't ever do that because you would use these recoiling these, or these recoiling from down. So you can't ever use a cross like this, a corner like this one. There are cases in which a corner can be used, but you need some stuff to do that. What do I mean with that? Like, imagine that your puzzle is uses this, okay? So in this case, you can do that. Why? Because you are using that one, that cell. But a corner that is in the outside of the grid, like in the larger perimeter of the grid, that can't ever be used. That's another important thing that I wanted to show. Anyway, okay, so probably it's time to make a step forward and try to go inside something a little bit interesting. Because again, this one is just like standard implications of what's going on. Another thing that is important is this. Every time you have something that is outside the grid, like, oh no, imagine that you have stuff like this. Maybe even like this. Every time you have stuff like this, this cell must be part of an horizontal segment. Why I'm saying that? I'm saying that because you can't recoil this from a vertical segment because your starting point is here. So you can't ever reach this because it's outside. But this means that this one must be part of something that is this here, 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 or here. And you need that. If you have stuff like this one, it's even worse. Why? Because you have those two cells. And those two cells mean that you have stuff here. like it's 1 or 2 or stuff like this. There are interesting points when you do that, because if you try to do something a little bit different, like let me just expand from the right, okay? And I want to do this. Now here I have 2 from the left and 1 from the right, and I can't make vertical segments here. So here I should do 3 horizontal segments that go in opposite directions. That just doesn't work, okay? But if this goes here, now this one just means that I need to do this separated. Why? Because I must have something that goes in one direction and something that goes in the other direction. Because I must recoil this cell, and then I must recoil also this one. Now you know something that I think is a bit like a bit interesting. I said that you need those two, okay? Now, like, okay, imagine that it's not here. Imagine it's just here, so I have space. Now, if I have something like this, and I know I must do this, because again, I can't connect directly because I would need to do something like this. That's just not working, of course. When you have this, you know something that is interesting. What do I mean with that? I know that this one can't really go this way. Why? Because if I try to go this way, let me just force this one down. I mean, we don't need it at the moment. If I try to go this way, now it's time to talk about time. What do I mean with that? Let me try to explain. When I make this movement, I'm recoiling something that is down. Now, I'm recoiling the cell that is nearest and is empty. So, I have 2 cases. Or this line is before this one from the start, or is this one before this one. But this means that in any case, if this one is before, I would take this cell, and now I can't add a line here. Or I do this, and this one is a recoil. Because the other one would be after. So the whole point is that to recoil from here, to recoil this one, I must have used those 2, but those 2 must be used by another segment. And this segment, if this segment is before, and so I can do that and recoil this one, I would break the other one. So it's like the opposite, okay? It's always the opposite. This means that every time you have these, that I think is worth showing, you have stuff like this. You are just going in the opposite directions from the outside, in terms of the fact that from here you need to recoil from this, and from here you need to recoil from this. So whenever you have stuff that is in one side or in the other side, you must do that. But the relevant thing is that you don't need that those are outside. Why? Like so much outside. You can just do that. And this still works. And this just still works because it's just the same. You can't recoil those cells from a vertical perspective in any part of the grid. So this works, and it works always. So whenever you have like long columns or long rows that have stuff that goes out, that peeks out in one direction or in another, you always have this. And this is one thing that is not always like clear, and it uses like the timing fact. This timing fact can be shown in I think in an easy way. When you do stuff like these. If I do these, for example, Yes. Also, hi Bookworm, is this bit about setting or still? Yeah, I was just saying something about the literal starting ideas, and then I just moved into time before solving something. I thought it was a good idea in general. How many of these did you set, Dama? Oh, come on, I don't know. I don't know. More than 20? More than 20? Um, well, not counting the tries like what I'm doing here, in which I'm not setting a puzzle, I'm just showing off something, showing something. Yeah, I don't know what I'm saying, but yeah, that's pretty much the point. Anyway, what I was saying is here, if you like imagine that you know at a certain point that you must reach this cell. Now you have two options. This cell could be, because it's a cul-de-sac, it could be the ending of your puzzle, or it could be a recoiled cell. Now, if this is a recoiled cell, that's one of the important things. It must be recoiled like after you recoil this one, or you go through this one. This is important, again, because of the time. Why? Because every time, I mean, I can also like continue here, just to make it even more clear. Every time I want to recoil this cell, at the same time, I must recoil this cell, or I must recoil this cell, and well, I'm saying that because every time I go here, I can't just complete my thing here, because this one is out, is after. Okay, so to recoil this cell, it's just what I said earlier for the things, right? To recoil this cell, I must have somewhere a thing that goes to the left, but every time I go to the left, I'm using the nearest one. So I'm using this one, for example, or well, or this one at maximum. But this means sorry, that every time I want to recoil this cell, I must recoil also this cell. Now it's trickier, because again, I have two recoils here, and those recoils have nothing in the vertical. But this means that again, if I want to make those recoils horizontally, I must do something there before. That again could be this, of course, but I can't just complete here with something that goes in the opposite direction. Like even this doesn't work. Even this doesn't work. So the general idea is that every time I have something that is in the outside, because I mean, again, I'm doing the same stuff here. I think you can see that it's just the same, right? So like, yeah, maybe I should do this. Yes, that works. For these two, I need those two. And it's just like that. What am I doing? Yeah. At the same time, for those two, I need stuff that goes straight. But when I do that, I can't go in the opposite direction. I mean, I can't go through the cul-de-sac. I must always go behind the cul-de-sac. So I must go this way to do that and that. Or in this case, to do this and this, for example. I mean, you get my point. Why this is important? This is important because when you know that something is not an ending, then you can do all of this. And you can use a lot of this thing. Like a lot of this thing. I guess one of my mods can remove that thing, or I can do that. Yes, I don't know how, but... Okay, I can surely block him, but I don't know how to remove. Okay, I don't know. I don't know how to remove the. Okay, I did it. Nice. Lovely. Thank you. Anyway, of course, please feel free to ask or say stuff in any case. But yeah, at the moment, I'm just saying stuff that I think many know already. But I just wanted to show what's going on. So those are just like the starting ideas. Like every time you have something that is too much pointing to one direction, then it's interesting to think about that. Just that. Also, this puzzle is already broken for many reasons, a lot of reasons, but it's already broken also if you do just this. Why? Because of this. Those two are two things that go horizontal. You can do that because you have the, well, you have this. So you can't really do that. You must move this thing outside, well, to some other directions. That's that was like nice to show, but I vote for non-ethical construction. Yeah, so true. Anyway, again, just tell if you want to share something or to ask something. Anyway, but now to start, let me just show this puzzle. It was done by Xetto, and I thought it was interesting to share something about this puzzle. Why? Because this puzzle has a very neat start. I mean, you know what to do because you must do that. You can't do any other things, so you must do that. Why I'm talking about this? Because this one works a lot around its path. So you imagine that you must go through all of these. Why you imagine that? Because you must take how much cells? Like n+1 cells, okay? It doesn't matter how many cells there are here. It's clear that you can't just stop here because all of those cells, first of all, can't be recoiled. But secondly, you can't really reach of this because all of those cells are for just for recoiling. So you can't really stop in any direction before before at least here. But also this is up and this is down. To recoil from here, you must make downward moves, not upward moves. So you know that you must go up, at least until a certain point. Now, not only that, you have this cell. This cell is relevant for a reason. This cell can't be a recoil from an horizontal perspective. But also, it's very hard for it to be a recoil from a vertical perspective, okay? Because you should do this. That's the only, well, the first step that you can move downward, and the only one also. But to do that, you're recoiling this one, not this one. So even if it's not needed, I know already by logic that I must do that. And I must do that, okay? So we will return to that in a second. First of all, I can start here. I can just start here. Now, what do I do? That's the big point, or the big problem, right? So what do I do when I do that? I have three options. Now, first of all, I can try, okay? With those puzzles, if you just draw around the grid, you like vibe solve, as many people said. I don't want to exactly vibe solve because, I mean, everyone can do that, okay? So we are just trying to understand what's going on. What's going on is this. Here we are using the stuff that I was talking about earlier, about the fact that when you are at the bottom and you want to do vertical moves, you are just growing the number of moves that you can make, just because every time you are leaving more space to the right, and so you have this. Why I was showing this? Because in this puzzle, for example, you know for sure that you must do that, you must do that, and you must do that. Now, if you think about that, it's a lot of moves. It's a lot of moves. Like in this one, that is the one that you have here, you have 1 move, 2 moves, and 3 moves. This one is the 4th move. If you do another move here, you need 2 and 3, that is 5 moves, and you don't have so many moves here. So we know that we can't do that. We just can't do that. But at the same time, if I try to do that, I have 1, 2, 3, and 4 already. Okay? And this is fine, because I'm using all of these. And now you can ask, what else? Well, this move can be made by this. So that's fine, at least at the moment. But if I think about the other cells, then something is interesting. First of all, I must do that. And I must do that. I know that I must do that. I must connect here. Now, because I must connect here, this one is used. Why? Because when I do that, I must use this cell. But when I use this cell, so this one is already recoiled, this one that goes up can't use this. I just can't use this. But this means that if I do that, this one can't be recoiled because this one is used already. So I need another cell down that I don't have. This means that I can't do that. And because I can't do that, I must do this. So this one goes this way, and this one goes this way again. And I can't. I can just connect all of this at this point. Also, this one is done, and this one is done for obvious reasons because of this. And that's fine. Now, can I count again? What do I mean? I'm here. I can do 2 different things here. First of all, the easier one. I must recoil this cell. How do I recoil this cell? Like, I can't recoil from vertical, I must recoil from horizontal. This one is already recoiled by this cell, so I must need... I need to make another move. Just a point. I must do that. And from here I must go up. Let's just force it again. Now, and that's the big problem. Now I know I'm using a big gun to go through this puzzle, even if it's not needed, just because I'm trying to use logic that was not used in other steps. Or I mean, you don't need to use all of these, but give me just a second. Here I know the direction. 2 steps to the right. So, because this one is made before this part, those 2 steps to the right are this one and this one. They are just taken. But this means that I can't ever take this one. At all. I just can't. Now, I can count the vertical slices here. Why? Because here I have 1 vertical move and another vertical move. Those are 2 vertical moves. This one is another vertical move. That's 3 vertical moves. If I just connect this way, what happens? Well, I remain with 1, 2, 3, and then those 2. What happens? I can't use that. This means that when I do that, I need to make another vertical move. Why? Because now the vertical moves become 4. 1, 2, 3, and 4. In other words, what's the general intuition here? The general intuition here is that if I have 4 spaces, I need 4 vertical moves. Now, those 4 vertical moves can be made by 5 cells, if they are all connected, or by 6 cells in groups of 3 and 3, for example, okay? Or by 8 cells if you do 2, 2, 2, and 2, for example. So the amount of cells that I have in the column, if I can't use the rows, is important to count how many path cells I must make. Here, for example, I knew that if I do that, I add 1, 2, and 3 vertical moves. That is an odd number, but I have 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 recoiled moves that I can't do in that world because I have only 3. So I need another one to go to 4 and 4. That's not exactly like rigorous, but you get the point. The point is just that when you count, you know that you must do something in one direction or in another just because of the count in the column or in the row, and it happens very much very much often. Okay, so you do that at this point and you solve the puzzle, because I mean at this point you just have the puzzle solved. But now if I try to return back and I return to what I said earlier, so I started from this. Okay, I had this one is an upward move. Why? Because again, this one can't be a recoiled move. I said already why. Because this one would be the last move that you can make, and I mean, we already know that this is not the end of the puzzle, okay? I guess it's not hard to see. When I know that, I don't need to do all of these and to find out all the stuff, because in this case, I can just go in the other direction, remembering what? Remembering that every time I make a move behind, so backwards, I'm not using the nearest cell. I'm using the what is the word in English? The farthest? Well, the cell that is the most behind, the furthest move. Yeah, thank you, Tim. Okay, the furthest move. Why? Because when I'm doing this, and I'm doing this, and I'm doing this, and I'm doing this, I'm always using those in this specific order. So this particular step is using the farthest available move. And this is important. Like, why this is important? Because I can't add recoils from behind, but when I know that I used all my lines, well, all my row or all my column, then I can. Why? Because I'm just going backwards. That's another point that I think it's interesting. I think it's helpful, at least. So I wanted to show that just because you can go backward a lot, and going backwards is a lot useful in some of those puzzles. Anyway, that was another thing that I thought it was relevant. Anyway, yeah. So one or two things that I wanted to share about the setting process. This puzzle, I started setting this puzzle because I wanted to use exactly what I showed you before. So like the cells that are outside the grid, okay? The cells that are all outside the grid. The idea behind these was to say that something must be recoil, and so you must use those cells because they are recoils. Must use in terms of, okay, because those are recoils, I must make moves that recoil in those cells. That's the point. So the whole point is this. I created, to start, this thing that is absolutely impossibly part of the path, because the path would end. And then I created the start that is down. Then I forced the other stuff around. How? That was the idea. The idea was to create something that feels neat, that can be or in the middle, or in the start, or in the end of the path. You can't really do much in every part of this of the setup, because recoil is very hard to control. What do I mean with that? That if I place this one just one cell to the left, the entire puzzle changes. Why I'm saying that? Because when I do that, I'm just removing one move from the left, for example, one move left, for example. So this changes literally everything. I can even share this thing. Load from URL. Yes, I can. I can share this. If I do that, the entire puzzle changes. I'll show you that in a second. But the whole point here is that I wanted to control at least part of the solve path, because you can control at least part of the solve path in that kind of stuff at the start. When you have the idea what's going on, then you can refine to control all the other parts of the solve path. But this is at least my experience, and I'm not an expert. I'm just the one that probably set more recoils just because I had more time, just for that reason, and only for that reason. But the idea is that from here, I wanted to tell something even without talking too much about this. So, for example, I know this. I just know this. Okay, this is this must be true. I also know other stuff, like do you remember the cul-de-sac that we were talking about earlier? This one. I know that this one can't be the end. Why I know that? Because if this one was the end, because this one is like a very narrow path, I really can't go through more than this. Well, okay, I can just wiggle around, but I can't do much more than that, okay? But this can't ever be half of the puzzle. It just can't be half of the puzzle. This means that this cell must be a recoiled cell. When this one is a recoiled cell, for the reasons I said earlier, this one is a recoiled cell, this one is a recoiled cell. Why again? Because when I do that, if I don't want to recoil from here, I'm just doing that for the last time, and then I'll assume that we all know that, when I go through here, for example, okay, don't think about the fact that the puzzle can't end here for the same reason, but I'm just trying to use the time again, okay? I can't go through here because to recoil this cell, I would need a step up. But this step up would recoil a thing that is down here, not down here. Or if it's here, it would recoil this cell. That can't be recoiled because must be part of the path in the word. All of these means that you have this, and now you have 3 cells. And now, again, I have the point. Why? Because those 3 cells must be made of vertical lines. Now, where are those vertical lines? That's one of the points, or that's, I mean, the most important point in the thing now. Those vertical lines must be somewhere from these or these. But I must remember that I have 1 and 2 here, okay? So, for example, I must make moves that are counting for this. I'll return here in a second, because we will use this as our break-in. The same applies here. We already said that. We have 2 cells here. Those 2 cells are made by upward moves somewhere. Now, I can't ever make these cells path cells. So those are all recoils. This means, this whole thing means that those 2 cells, those 4 cells, even if I try to make upward moves here, are using stuff from here, from the spiral. They are not using stuff from down here. This means that those cells are all free cells. And because they are all free cells, I can't use those to recoil down here. So those things that are recoiled, and I know that they are recoiled, are made by those. And because they are made by those, I know this, and I know this. And I know the order, because this goes up this way. When I go this way, I go this way. That's just forced, right? When I do that, I'm recoiling what? I'm recoiling this cell. That's, I think, easy to see, okay? Now that I know this, I want to return to this, to this other thing that you have here. Why? Because now, what I want to ask is, can one of those 1, 2, 3, or 4 moves that are the maximum amount of moves be down here? And the answer is Probably. But where? What do I mean with that? I mean, here I have a maximum amount of 4 moves. So, those 4 moves are recoiling, this one, maybe, this one, and this one. Do you agree? Now I have 1, 2, and 3. Now, that's the problem. Can this one be recoiled by something else before you reach this? Yes. But at the same time, no, because even if you do that, you're using this one and this one. Not like this one, okay? So, this one must be recoiled from up, in this case. Specifically from up, in this case. Why? Because I know the direction of this puzzle. I know that I'm going all the way up. So that's pretty much the important point, okay, of this in the terms. So this one must be recoiled from up. I don't know about this too, though. But again, I'm not saying that it's important. I'm just saying that even if only one of those two was recoiled by these 4, I would still need something down here to recoil cells that are down here. But when I do that, this cell is recoiling stuff that is like the first one, okay? So I'm recoiling stuff that is here, or this one. If I don't want to recoil this one, I'm just running out of moves. That's the whole point. Because if I do that, because of what I said, here I can have at most 2 moves. Here I can have other, again, 4 moves, okay? So this is like the maximum I can do, okay? So it's 2 moves and 4 moves. And I have the count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Why did you say those 2 at the bottom had to be recoiled from cells direct above it? No, I didn't say that. I said that even if I want those 2 to be recoiled by stuff that is up here. Yes, I was saying that. Yes, exactly, I was saying that thing. But what I was saying that is that this one must be recoiled from the column. Right?
The other 2 cells.
Yeah.
About the other 2 cells, the ones to the right, like this line segment you drew. Because what was your? I don't think your reasoning accounted for the fact that the. Never mind.
Okay, I said that this one can't be recoiled from this direction, so it's a vertical recoil. Right?
Whatever. I was going back a bit. Whatever. Never mind.
Oh yeah. No. Please tell.
I was going back a bit to the line segment you have drawn. Line segment you drew at the bottom of the grid.
Yeah. Okay. Yes.
No, not that line. The one you have drawn in the grid.
Oh, this one you mean?
I said the line. Yeah.
Okay.
That one where you have the 2 line clicks at the bottom. Because.
Oh, you're asking why those 2 are recoiled by this?
Yes. Let's ask.
Okay.
Because.
Yeah.
I agree. It's right. I just looked at your reasoning and see.
Okay. The reasoning is this. Wait. Let me.
I looked at your reasoning, but it didn't seem like it fully accounted for the fact that the cells in that column can be taken from the row.
Yes, but even if I do that, okay, I know that I have this.
Yeah.
This is this is forced, okay? Even this is forced, but yeah, you get the point. When you want to do this, okay, you can have 1, 2, 3, and 4. Right? You have only 4 possible vertical segments that go up. And what I'm saying is that even if you want to use some of these from this direction, from the horizontal, you can't use all of them to make those two be those two recoils. That's my point.
Great.
Yeah.
I mean, I think it's correct. I just think there's a bit more logic you need to do it to break it down into multiple sets. You can't just say that immediately that those two cells have to come from the ones directly above it. Because, like, because of the fact that at this point you can't disprove the fact that all of the cells in the spiral come from the horizontal segments. You need to break it down a bit, I think. No, never mind.
What I was saying is that it doesn't really matter. Because it was a counting reason, what I wanted to say. Even if you have these, okay, and those are all taken by horizontal segments, you are using this cell and this cell, maybe? But no more. Because this one can be, okay, this one can be made by this. Those can be all horizontal. But those two
whatever, I'll
can...
just shut up.
What? Anyway, okay, let me return. Okay, let me just try to see if I was wrong with something. Wait a second. Let me return here. Okay. Let me just try to return to here for a second. Okay, so I know that all of these are like all of these are recoil cells, okay? Now, from here, I know for sure that I'm going this way. I'm going this way around, so okay, just imagine I'm just drawing stuff, okay? Just to let understand what's going on. So my point was another one. My point was that from here, from this direction, I know that I must do that. I mean, okay, I stopped here, but it's not the most important thing. Now the easy way is just to notice that you can draw a lot of pieces of these and continue. I was trying to show some logic, some inherent logic that is working around the amount of possible cells that you can make vertical or horizontally. So just to be clear, you don't need to do what I was trying to do to solve the puzzle at all. I was trying to say that if you want to understand what I was trying to explain earlier about vertical lines and horizontal lines, that I think again is just what I'm trying to explain at the moment. Yeah, you're right. I just feel your wording does immediately give the direction by pure counting. Yes, okay. I get your point. Let's say this thing. Nothing to regret. I mean, I'm trying to use a bit more advanced logic to be helpful for setters. Just that, okay? So yeah, I can just be wrong with what I'm saying. So please don't stop at all. You or all the others, of course. I mean, we are here for that reason, just for that reason. What I wanted to, again, I am just trying for the last time to see if I can tell right proof of this. The whole point is this. I have a lot of cells here that are going in this direction. And I know that the only cells that can go straight up are those and those. I can't do any more than that at all. I just can't do any more than that. We can go further with that, with what the book was saying. Why? Because, for example, when I do that, and imagine that I'm using the most of those, this cell, could in theory be recoiled by something that is to the right, okay? Of course, it could. This one could be recoiled by something that is here. This one could be recoiled by something that is here. I mean, probably it is recoiled by something that is there, okay? This one, same thing. This one, you can't really do that because you are going up. And in fact, you just can't. So, like, those could be taken by stuff that is horizontal. This one you can't at all. This one you can't for the same reason. And at this point, you are using those to take those two, and so those two can't be taken. But I was not doing that. I was just saying that was my reasoning, that even if all of those were made by horizontal segments, it doesn't really matter, because now those two, if you don't want to have vertical segments here, are taking those two cells, those two. So those two now are, well, can't be used at all. This means, and this is like the very first point of the thing, that at this point, you must have vertical segments here, vertical slices here, okay? Now, I can understand the problem in which, okay, how many of those you are using? And yes, I agree that you need to understand that those are taken by this because of horizontal segments. Yes, I'm sorry about that. But those two can't ever be made by horizontal segments this way. And yeah, this one could be made by these, of course. Yeah, and I'm probably now wrong and you're right. Yeah, right?
Yeah.
That's where you were pointing the problem,
The
right?
picture I put in chat is the one that I.
Yeah. Okay.
I agree that you can prove that you need. You can prove that you need at least one of those cells. I think you can prove the bottom segment is forced.
Okay. Okay.
Proving
You're
that
right.
both of those line segments are forced requires like more work.
Okay. You're right. Okay. That's fair. Well, okay. Okay, I was trying to make some deductions that probably can't be completely made then, at the moment. Yeah. Well, okay. Let's return to the easier parts now. Okay. Sorry. So, first of all, if you try to continue this way, you are closing here. You're just closing, because now this part of the loop, or the path, goes after you do all of these, okay? So you can't really do that. You must need a space for this to go through. And to do that, you here need to do this. It's like a local deduction, but it's pretty much fine, right? So you do that, so you occupy this. So this one is entirely forced. And from here you can just like do simple logic, because now from here, for example, you're taking all of those, so you can't go straight. So this one must go up. This one takes this cell. This one goes this way. And now from here, we must stop from this direction for a second, okay? Now, with those two cells, I'm taking this one and this one. These are one cell and one cell. So if I try to go up again, I need another vertical segment that I can't have down. I can't recoil. That's the point. So I can't go through here. So I must go through here. When I go through here, I'm taking this cell. And now from here, I must go up. This going up, what takes? Well, this one takes this cell, and this one takes this cell. That's the thing that I was talking about earlier, right? in terms of the amount of cells that you go left and right. But now, at this point, this one is taken by the 3 steps here that you already know. So this means that those 2 cells take those 2, so you can't go up, so you must go to the right. And this one takes this, at least. Now you can't go up again, because again, you have not enough space, so you go here, and now you go up, you take this cell, of course, and when you go here, you must go straight, taking, I guess, this cell, because it's the one that you are not using from before, so yeah, you are going through this direction, so you take this cell. Now from this cell, you can't go up. Why you can't go up? Because of this. You just can't go up. So you can't continue. I mean, you must continue to the right, and you're taking this cell. Now, yeah, okay, I feel all of this now sounds right. If anyone thinks it doesn't, just tell, of course. Yes, it should add up. This cell takes this cell, of course, this one, this recoiled. And again, sorry for the error. Now I'm a bit embarrassed about that. Okay. Okay. Now.
Yeah, it's hard to get up any further.
Yeah.
You only have 1 recoil cell allowed available in either of those rows.
In either of those rows, you have just 1. So this, yeah, this means that if you go up now, you have problems in a sense. Like you go here and you take this one, but now what happens? You know that you can't go up in this direction, and you can't go up again in this direction, and you can't go like yeah, you must do that, okay? You just must do that. But when you do that, you go up this way. That's what I was trying to say. Then you're going this way, but then how do you recoil this cell? Because this cell is out.
You can't.
This means that you must continue, and when you continue, here you are recoiling this one. Oh, well, not this one, of course. Not more this one, yeah. Now that you are recoiling this cell, now you can continue this way, recoil the other one here, and now from here, you can't go to the left, you must go up. When you go up, you recoil this one now, for the last time. I mean, now you can't really continue up. You can't go to the right because this would close. It's a cul-de-sac again, and also, I mean, I already said this one can't ever be part of the loop in this world, of the path, so you must go this way. Why I'm continuing? Because I know that I'm not using enough cells yet. That's pretty much the point. How do I know that I'm not using enough cells? Because of this cell. This cell must be or the end or recoiled. The same applies here, of course. And now I can't go down. I can't go to the left because I don't have enough here, so I must go up again. This one recoils this cell, so I don't have enough recoils vertically, so this one is taken. And if I go here now, it's true that I can recoil this cell, but now this one has no recoils, of course. So I must go to the left, and now I must go up. So this one recoils this cell, and this one recoils this cell. And now I don't have any recoils or any empty cells in this column, so I can't go up. And if I try to go to the right now I'm fine, because I can recoil this cell, and this cell. But what happens to the rest of the grid, okay? So like this cell, what happens to this cell? So I must go through here, recoiling this cell. And now...
Yeah, there's not enough.
I can't go up, I must recoil again. So I recoil this, and I'm here. And now I'm here. Now I guess it's a bit different though, in terms of what's going on in vertical slices for what the bookworm was saying. Why? Because now, well, we know for sure that, for example, this cell wasn't recoiled like horizontally. So now this cell,
True.
well, it's still available. That's the point. This cell is still available or not. It's 1, 2, and 3 steps. So 1, 2, and 3 steps. So this one is not available anymore because I have 3 steps here. This one takes 2, so I take those 2. This one is taken by this one, so I must do that. And this one is always taken because, I mean, yeah, I have all of those. That's of course
those 3, that whole row's right.
Of course, those are like that, yeah. But also, this one can't be taken by an horizontal segment here. So this one is also there. And so, every time I do that, even if I do that, I take 2 cells that are those 2. That are the maximum. Because again, I can't take this one from other sides, okay? So I must do, even if I do that,
above or below, yeah.
I must use those 2. That's the point. But this means that those 2 cells must be taken by moves that are down, not up. And so you do that. You do this one and this one. And so you do this. And now I guess that that now we can agree about this part, right? At least.
You couldn't have gone downwards in that column on the bottom, so you have to be taking them from above. Yeah, makes sense.
Yeah, yes, exactly.
Don't you get 2 more recoils in that column, actually? At the top of this column?
In this one?
Isn't it all force now? Yeah. Isn't the only way to do this 2 facing away X's?
Now, this one must be vertical, yes, because it can't be horizontal. And this one must be vertical too. So you need these. I agree. And you're taking this one and this one, of course. Oh, and also you are using this one. Now, to use this one, you have 2 options. This one must be a recoiled cell vertically. Now, it could be this one, or it could be this one. If it goes this one, and it goes vertically, this one broken. It's just broken. So you must do that. And this recoiled. And now you know that those 3, yes, must be from vertical segments. That can't be from these, so you must need vertical segments, so you must go down 3 times. This way. And when you do that, you must go here, so you're taking this cell, and from here, from the things that you already said, because, yeah, I removed those, but I knew that those 3 were recoiled because of what we said already. We must go up, and we must go up how much times? Well, I don't know. That's the point, that I still don't know. But now, when I try to do this, I break because I don't have enough space horizontally. I have only 1 space horizontal, that is this one. But this means that this one is not possible, so I must go up again. So this one goes this way down. And I can't go through here, because here I don't have enough horizontal spaces, so this one is taken. So I must go up again. When I must go up again, I do this, and then I can connect. And so we remain with the, well, with the higher part of this. That's pretty much it. That's important because of what happens here also, because those 2 cells take this one and this one. This means that here I must go through this direction, and this direction takes the last recoiled cell here, or the last space here. So I must go down here. To go down here, I need the recoiled up, and so those connect. And this is all forced at this point. Now from here, I must go here. I take this one. From here, what can I do? Well, I can't continue this way, but I still have places left, so I must go down, take this one, take this to take this one, and then I have 3 cells down, 3 cells up. But if I try to go down, I can't reach this cell because it's outside the space. So to connect, I must go this way. And that completes. Phew, okay. And now, yes, I think that now it's pretty much logically proven. At this point. So yeah, let's see what's going on with the puzzle that the bookworm created. The new version of it, of course. Okay. Getting higher in difficulty, so it's probably time to share some other thoughts that were not shared before. Like in those puzzles, like, okay, not in this one, but in general, it's a good thing also to think about where the path is going or where the puzzle is going in general, okay? What do I mean with that? I mean that... also, thank you for the all here. So, I need some chocolate. Like, there are some parts of the grid that feel suspicious in general, okay? That feel very suspicious. And when you find out, like, that's one of the things that I suggest to do. When you find out where the end is, maybe not exactly the cell in which the end is, but more or less when the end is, you can do some stuff. You can do some stuff because you can understand what happens in the other parts of the grid. Because, for example, imagine that the end of the puzzle is down here. This means that all the other things that are corners, as I said, can't be the ends and can't be part of the puzzle because you can't really do that, or the opposite, for the reasons I already showed. But this means that, for example, then you could just remove a lot of stuff around the grid because you just can't reach them. So when you know more or less where the end is, well, it's not a bad idea in general. Damas is a puzzle by me and immediately assumes it's going to need to explain advanced techniques. Okay, yes, but at the same time, I'm trying, okay? I'm trying, and it's hard. It's hard, so please forgive me for that. But it's really hard to explain stuff on a live solve if you don't have already some stuff prepared to do that, okay? So I'm trying to not forget stuff around the grid, to not forget properties that are, I mean, again, I'm using basic and advanced techniques, but also basic advanced techniques, so not the wild, very wild stuff like this. But what I'm trying to do is to showcase the types of intuitions and of logic that you need to do with those puzzles. And because I don't know the puzzle, because I didn't solve this puzzle yet, I don't know what I'm expecting to do. So again, please forgive me because it's not my job. It's not what I usually do. That's the point. But yeah. And again, I was thinking to share my puzzles and the solve paths of my puzzles, but maybe it's not the best idea ever, just because if you do that, if I do that, you can't solve those puzzles to like to learn to try to I don't know what's the word, but as exercises. That's the point. So, as people suggested, I was trying to use other stuff to work around those things. So, oh yeah, maybe one thing that I can tell is this. Before solving this one, I can tell another thing that's probably useful. Sorry. That is about the original puzzle. I'm not solving the original puzzle, okay? I'm just not solving the original puzzle. I don't want to spend 30 or 40 minutes on that at the moment. But I only wanted to share you one thing. That is also not needed to solve this puzzle. But I wanted to share this technique, this type of thing, just because you can use it in many other puzzles, I think. The whole point is this. Where is the starting point? The starting point is on the left. Now, I know for sure that this thing is unlikely to be the end of the puzzle. And I know that this feels strange to say, okay? But like, how can I explain it? It's a global deduction that involves parity and counting. What do I mean with that? I mean that you can count the number of cells that are in this puzzle, okay? And if you do that, if you count the number of cells that are in this puzzle, like imagine I'm starting from here. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 and 7 rows here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. So you have here I'm trying to use my mouse to showcase. You have a 13 times 7, that is 91 cells, and also you have from these 91 cells, 91. What I said? Yes, it's 91 cells. Yes, you have 91. 90, 89, 88, 87, 86, 85, 84, 83, 82, 81, 80, 79, 78, 77, 76, 75, 74, 73, 72, 71, 70, 69. You call it a global deduction and it involves parity and counting. I call it vibes. Yes, and I forgot the counting. Yes, I'm so bad at this. Okay, sorry. Yeah, I had 91. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. So again, I return to 70 here. And now 71, 72, 73, 74, 75, 76, 77. Yes, okay. Now I have 77 cells. This means that I'm doing how much moves I'm doing with the path. Because I have 77, it's I can go to 76 and then go down to 38. So I'm doing 39 moves, okay? So I'm doing how much moves I'm doing. I'm doing an odd number of moves with my path, okay? So I go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and so on and so on and so on. But this means that every time I land on a odd number of moves, I'm going to a cell that is in the opposite checkerboard of the starting point. 1, 2, 3, again, stuff like that. When I do an even number of moves, I go to the same checkerboard stuff. But this means that the ending, that is 39 moves away, must be in a different checkerboard coloring from the start. So if I start from here, I can go through here, 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 and here. This can't be an ending because the ending must be on the other type of the checkerboard. Why I'm doing that?
You're
Just
right.
to tell you that this one can't be the ending of the puzzle. And why it's important to me to say that it's not the ending of the puzzle. Again, I'm not solving this, and it's even not needed, okay? But chocolate. I needed that to show you one specific thing. I know, for the reasons that we already said, that this one is also not reached by the path. But this means that those two cells must be reached by two things that go down somewhere, that go up somewhere here, for example, okay? Doesn't matter where they are, but imagine that they are here. What does this mean? And again, I'm doing a thing that is absolutely not needed, okay? But imagine isn't it the other way around? 38 moves, making 39 cells plus 30. Yes, what I said. That's what I said. I'm using the starting point count, but yeah. Yeah. I just count the starting cell as a path cell, so making 39 cells, yes. That's what I said, I think. Did I say the opposite? Did I count the opposite this time? Oh, did I count the opposite? Sorry. Yes. Oh,
Not
yes.
True. The
Oh,
path
yes.
has to end.
Oh, yes,
in
it
the
has
opposite
to end
corner.
in the... Okay, it has... Yes, I counted wrong. Yes, you're right. It's 38. You went 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, yeah, we were counting moves. Yes, yeah, you're right. So it can end here. That's correct. But
it can't end on the left side now.
yes. My whole point was not the fact that it can't end here. I wanted to say that you have a recoiled cell down here. But even if you do this, you still need to go to this side of the grid. Yeah. Again, I was trying to say a different thing that was not exactly easy to share, but yeah, let me just return. Okay, I showed that technique, so that's fine. But my whole point is, can I end here somewhere? Somewhere here, I mean in this entire part of the grid. Can I end the puzzle here? And that's I went too far away to show that you don't need to say that, but yeah. I wanted to say that you need to go through here. You're starting from here, and my question is, can you end here somewhere? And my answer is not, you can't. Why you can't? Because you must reach the right side of the grid. And yeah, that's why I was about to use these, and I wanted to use the checkerboard to say this, but again, I was wrong. The whole idea is this. If I don't go through, well, yeah, like I want to never do that. So I don't want to reach this side of the grid, and I want to end here. I have not enough cells, not enough recoil cells, or not enough path cells. So I must go to the right and return. That's the whole point. Because even if you do that and don't do that, I mean, it's not enough. It's still not enough. In terms of just counting, okay? You can just count this side of the grid and this side of the grid. So you must go through here and through here. If you want to end here, I mean. But now, if you want to end here, or well, wherever you are going through one direction and through the other direction, okay? And why I wanted to show this, because you have some connectivity things that are involved. Why? Because sometimes you have different parts of the grid that are connected. I had this in some of my tests, in some of my puzzling testing, in which you must connect to different parts of the grid, and you must find a way to do that. Why this is important? Because, for example, if you want to return, you must go through that part of the grid and then return. So you must do that 2 times. 1 time to go in one direction and 1 time to return. And now, the question is, are there ways to do that in one direction, in one another? Because this is the type of question that I think help a lot in some puzzles. To ask, okay, I must go through this part of the grid to another part of the grid and maybe return, or maybe go through here, through here, through here, through here. Can I do that? Or other directions, okay? This is used in my 4th puzzle, in the 5-star puzzle, for example. You must understand somewhat how the puzzle goes. But to do that, you must understand that if your puzzle ends in a specific part of the grid, then you can't make the path to other parts of the grid. That's pretty much the problem. Like in this puzzle, you can prove, even if it's not needed, that if you end here somewhere, I don't care where, here, for example, you must go through one direction and through the other direction, and return. So, and to do that, you are creating a lot of problems because of how narrow those possible paths are. And yes, there are ways to use that. So I wanted just to share this with you, because it's the amount of times you go through one direction or through another direction. Like in this one, that is the one I was talking about earlier, you have those three narrow things that go 1, 2, and 3, up or down. And again, it's important to understand how much times you are going from the top side of the grid to the bottom side of the grid. So yeah, like I was trying to say that, and well, I was trying to use also the parity just to add another thing that you could want to know. But yeah, that's pretty much the point. I was counting cells and not moves. Yeah, but yeah, counting moves, it's just 1, 2, 3, so it's 38 moves, and so you are ending in the exact checkerboard, not in the opposite checkerboard in this kind of puzzle, or I mean in this specific puzzle, because it changes from puzzle to puzzle, of course. So yeah, okay, that one is also said. 39 moves, yeah, 38 moves exactly. I just focused on 39 moves and went straight with that without thinking. I'm sorry. It's 39 cells, so 38 moves. Yeah. Yes. Anyway, let's go solving this one. What do we have here? What do we have here? So we have this cell, and those 2 cells that are very restricted in terms of what's going on.
There has to be a downward line in the 3rd from the last row or column because of the floating box.
Yep. We are using these, and I was thinking about those. Like, what happens if you don't use this side of the grid entirely, right?
Ooh, You gotta do
If
a
you
lot of
don't use
recoiling.
these, how do you recoil this cell? You just can't. The maximum you can do is probably this.
Oh, it is broken. Hmm.
So you must reach like the left part of the grid. That's for sure. You must reach this part of the grid. Now the big deal is how much time can you really do stuff here? What I mean is that imagine that you want to go to these 2 times, okay? Like this time and this time. And imagine we are showing an orientation of that, okay? If we make an orientation of that, it's we are creating an orientation of the path, of some kind of the path at least. But this means I'm still thinking about this cell, okay? That's pretty much my big question here. Because if you are doing that, it's clear that this one is before this one. Oh, it's even easier. I'm sorry, it's even easier. Ah, okay, that's easier. You can do that. 2 steps to the right. How do you do that? Sorry. Yeah, that was yeah. So if you want, you must do that in the other direction. You must do that this way. This feels wild. Why this feels wild? Because if you want to return, so I'm just saying that you are passing through, and you are not staying here, even here. Okay, that's just my point. Because we know that we are entering this side of the grid, and now that I know that we are entering, oh sorry, this part of the grid. Now that I know that I'm entering this part of the grid, now I'm asking, what's going on if I'm entering and exiting again, and I can't do that in the other way, but I can do that this way. But if I do that, then I have problems, because now I can't do that because of clear reasons, so I must do that. But when I do this, I can't just go down in any case. I just can't go down again. That's another probably important point. If you reach the upper part of a line of the grid, in this case, you can't really go down. I already said that when I was in the editor, right? When I was in the editor and I had this one down here, when I said that if I try to enter this, then I can't exit it because of the bottom. In this case, we already used that type of deductions. So you can't ever do that. That's important. Because when you do that, at a certain point you must go down. The only way to like exit this type of stuff is using a spike that goes out, okay? So you can use it to just go through. And this is relevant for many reasons. Like one of the reasons is that I already know that I can't complete the entire thing here because I need a vertical slice here because of this, okay? And I know, because we already said that... what am I doing? We already said that I can't go through here in this direction. All those things mean that I can't really do that. Because if I do that, I must go through here, and I can't. So this line is forced, at least. This line is just forced. Now, because we know that now we must reach this side of the grid, we must do that. This is all forced at this point. And now I can't go up, so I must go through here again. And now I can't go through here because this one, well, I can't go down. So I must go down from here. And when I go down from here, I must go right from here and down again from here, taking this cell, so I can't go through here. And now I must go through here. And now we will see in a second what's going on. Like, first of all, again, what do you do with this cell? Now we can we can say stuff about what's going on in the grid, because now we know that the ending is in this part of the grid. We know that the ending is this part of the grid. This means that this one is never an ending, that this one is never an ending, and that this one is never an ending. This one and this one are never endings, and this one are never endings. So all of them can't be like ending of the path. This one can't ever be an ending. And I guess I can tell that this one is never an ending, because if this one was an ending, even if I try to do stuff around here, I'm not taking all of those cells at all. So this one is never an ending. For the same reason, this one is never an ending, because the maximum I can do is this, and this one would be never taken. So this one is never an ending. So we must go up. Also, if I don't want to end up here, I still have problems, I think. Why? Because of those 3 cells. Why? I can't ever horizontal movements. I mean, I have this one horizontal movement, but only this one. So this one can't ever be part of something if I end down here in general. Also, does this mean that this one must be the end of the puzzle? Like, if this one was not the end of the puzzle, then I would need the horizontal move from this one, for this one. I can't make this here, because if I do that, I must go from here and then from here, but already this move is broken because I don't have anything down. So this one can't be true. But if this line must be this movement, this is broken because this movement must take this cell, not the other one. And if I continue, I have too many cells from this direction. So this means that this one must be the ending. I'm pretty sure of that. But this means that I must go through here. And so I have 2 moves up, so this one can't be, and so those are connected. So now this one takes stuff that could be this one or stuff to the right, of course. Here I have a step up. It takes this cell or this cell. Oh, well, yeah. Yeah, now, if I go through... yeah, I need to go through here because this one breaks. So I have 2 cells going this way, and I don't have more vertical slices, so I must do that. Those are 1, 2, and 3 moves, so I'm taking these 3 moves from here. And now from this direction, I must go through here and through here. Taking this cell. Okay. And that's done. Now, let's stroll with the easy things before. Okay, okay, this is interesting. Now, how do you make this cell a recoil cell? Okay, that's another thing that I think it's teaching something. Okay, you need to reach this cell, and this cell must be reached by an horizontal move that goes to the left. Now, where do you make that move? You can't do this, of course. So the only move that goes left is this one. So this one must take this cell, and to take this cell, it means that this cell must be taken before. Now, how do you take this cell before, though? you can't move up here, you can't move down here, that's just broken. So you must use another movement from here to take this cell, and so this move can take this cell. Now this one goes down, takes this cell, this move can't go down again, so you must go there, and finally we can take this cell going down this way. Can't continue though, so we must go this way, taking this cell. And now if I go up, I break the puzzle because this one is broken, so we must go down again. From here I must go left. And now you have two cells here. Oh yeah, those two cells that go to the left must be this one and this one, because they are the only two left recoils, well, going in the opposite direction. But this means that this goes this way, taking this cell now. This one now is taken, of course. And this means that I do this, taking this cell or this cell. And if I make two cells here, if I make two moves to the left, I don't have enough recoils to the left, so only one move is allowed here. So we must go here and recoil this cell. We must go here, recoiling this cell now. We can't recoil again, connecting, I mean, all of these. And we still need a vertical segment going up through here, and you can't make this because this would be horizontal, well, would be down, would be downwards. So you must go here. And then you must go here. And it's complete because this step recoils this one, this step recoils this one, this step recoils this one. This step recoils this one, and this step recoils this one. This one is recoiled by this cell, and I guess it's complete. Yeah, okay. Again, just looking at this at the grid, you can make deductions in general, or you can just go on because some case checking is very simple to do. I was trying to force every step in a way that we are using all the logic possible. So I'm not trying, I'm trying to overcomplicate things just to share more deductions and more types of logic. But it's not exactly what you are forced to do, okay? But just to be clear, this one, I think I can just show this one. This one, I mean, it's just the first introductory puzzle, so I think we can just like do that. I can tell something from this puzzle, okay? That is, you can solve this puzzle just from the starting point and say, okay, I can't do that because it's two steps to the right, so I can't go through here. If I try to go down and then here, then it's broken because I have two steps here, and that's broken. So I must go this way or this way. And now I can tell stuff like, if I go, I imagine, like, I go up here, then I can't go up again, so I must go here, and then I go this way. And that's one thing that I can do. That's absolutely one thing that I can do. But when I'm here, now I have problems because I can do that, but I break the puzzle. I can go up again, but I break the puzzle this way. I can't go up this way because I break the puzzle this way, and so this one doesn't work and stuff like that. So it's a lot of case checking that I know that it can be done, and also it's not very hard, and also, I mean, it's also fun to do that. But if you have a bit of experience about this genre, you know something. What do you know? You know that you can't go through here because you don't have enough space. So this cell, well, you can reach it from the other direction, but you can't really go through here. So you have only one way to go through those two parts of the grid again. But now, because you can go only once to the other side of the grid, you can ask, can I stay only in the left part of the grid? And again, the answer is not, because if you go only to the left, the right side can't be all recoiled. Why? Because of this cell. This cell must be recoiled or must be the end, and recoil is from this horizontal or this vertical, and both can't work if you stay here. So you must go to the right, okay? But because you must go to the right, you must go to the right from here in this way. But when you do that, you have 2 steps, and then those 2 are just recoiled from this direction. So you can go there, and then you know all of this. Now you can't go up, because if you go up, you can't continue. And again, it's not enough. This one is not recoiled yet or not reached yet. So you can't go up. But you can't go to the right again because you don't have enough. So you must go down. When you go down, you are recoiling this cell. So you can't go down again. So you must recoil from here something that is here. But now I'm asking, how this one can be ever recoiled? To recoil this cell, because it's not the ending, you must recoil another cell. Why? Because if this was the only thing that goes horizontally to the right, this one could never be recoiled, because you have this cell too. This means that those 2 cells are made by 2 horizontal movements. So this one and this one. So you must go this way. And so all of this is forced. When you go here, you can't go up because it's not only this cell that is a problem, but it's also this cell that is a problem. At a certain point, you must do something with the last row vertically, I mean. So this means that you must go down. And so this one, well, I know that it recoils this cell. Why? Because if it doesn't and it recoils this other cell, this one is already recoiled, but you can't because you are just reaching this part of the grid, so you can't continue that way. Now you can't go to the left because here you can't, so you must go down again. And when you must go down again, you recoil this cell. Now you can't go down, of course. As you can see, this one is solved without guessing anything to the left side or without making case checking, and that's, I think, one of the relevant things here in that for that matters. Now we have another point. How do you recoil this cell? This cell must be recoiled from something that goes down. But if this is the case, what's going on here? Whatever will recoil this cell? Like nothing. Why? Because this one is not a recoil horizontal, and you can't make a vertical recoil that goes up because you have no space anymore. This means that this one is recoiled by this cell. But this means that this cell must be recoiled before you recoil this cell. So this one that is a recoil must be recoiled by something that goes horizontally. So you need this, recoiling this cell before this one recoils the last one. And then you must connect. And when you do that, this one recoils this cell, this one recoils stuff here, and the other one recoils another stuff here. So you are recoiling 2 things to the right, to the left here. And also you are understanding what's going on here too, because this one was not recoiled from the right, so you must recoil from the left. So you need to do this forced at this point. And now how do you connect if not connecting just like straight away? You must do that, right? And so when you do that, you are recoiling 2 cells that are this one and this one, and now those 2 cells recoil this one and this one, solving the puzzle. And that's like, yeah, I tried to use the easiest one, but applying all the logic that you can use to make it as much logical as possible. So that's pretty much it. Let me think at whatever else maybe you can well you want to know. Well, another of the points is that if you have a very large grid in general, or maybe not a very large grid, but in general, knowing how many cells are in the path and how many cells are recoiled is important, because you can just say stuff like, okay, this whole part of the grid must be used, because if you don't use that, you don't have enough space for the path or enough recoil cells, or you are using too much recoil cells, for example. Okay, so that's another thing that is important. I think we did something similar with here, when I said that from here you can't just go to the left. I mean, another reason is that all the other cells would be recoiled, and you just can't, because of the counting. And the counting again is important, not only for parity, but also because you understand if you can ever reach a part of the grid, or if you can avoid an entire part of the grid. I tried to use that in the 5-star, for example. What else am I missing? If anyone has any ideas or thoughts, please tell. Because I think I made oh wow, I made a 2-hour stream of me doing a very bad job. Wow, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry, all of you. I hope you will see this video, in at least 2 pair. But yeah, I don't know if I missed some like starting logic. There are insights, there are other things that you can do. I tried to avoid talking about stuff that is too funky in general, because I mean it's not the point, or too much case checky. But yeah, like a thing that could be case checky, or at least a lot case checky, for example, is like, I don't know, I'm just I just want to share you just one thing that is not needed, but you can see one thing that is a little bit more funky, for example, in this puzzle. Like for example, imagine, okay, just imagine that okay, I am doing a thing that Niverio will just tell me I hate you or stuff like this, but imagine that I want that to say that this one is the end of the path. This one is just the end of the path, okay? I just want to tell that this one is the end of the path. Sign me up for the Fantasy stream. Yeah. Okay, I'm just showing this, and I'll close the stream. What happens if this thing is the end of the path? If this is the end of the path, I'm going from some directions, okay, to this point. So I'm really going wild with case checking now, but I want just to share you something. So you know that you can go from one of those directions, okay? But like, okay, imagine that it's like that. Now the point is this: if this is the end of the path, we know for sure that the path doesn't end here, right? And it doesn't end here, or here, or here, or here, or anything else, or here. Yeah, but this means that this one must be made by a vertical segment of some kind. True? Yeah. Now, imagine that the end of the path is like this one. Okay? If this is the end of the path, well, this is broken because I don't have anything down. So this can't be the end of the path. Now, imagine that the end of the path is, well, is this one, going down. Okay? If this is the end of the path going down, I know for sure that I need a vertical segment going up for this cell. Now, where do I take that cell? Where that line? I can't do that, because if I do that, well, like this is the end of the path, okay? So I can't reach this one. So I must go again here, and I have 2 cells, but it's just one. So I mean, I just can't, okay? So the end of the path must be this. Well, not, yeah. The end of the path is this, so I must do that for this. But when I do that, I can't join, so I must go up again, and it is broken. So every time I make one of those, I make the other one. But this means that this one is not the end of the path. It's just forced, okay? The thing is very different if I want this one to be the end of the path, okay? Or this one to be the end of the path. Let me share with you what I'm going to do with this. If this one is the end of the path, here, well, I can't do that. Do we agree? Because I don't have anything to the right to recoil. So this one can't be. So for this to be the end of the path, this one must be forced. And this was all very easy case checking, okay? Because this just breaks like instantly. But now, have a look at this. I can tell you that this breaks for some interesting reasons. Or at least I think they are interesting reasons. Well, first of all, can I do that? I can't. Because if I do that, this one must continue, and I can't continue left, and I can't continue up because of this again. Okay? So I must do that. But again, how do I do that? I must continue again. So this one can't be the end of the path because I'm creating some kind of cul-de-sac with this row, with this column. Sorry. Okay. This wall thing works the same if you don't use this as your end of the path, but you use like a thing that allows for more flexibility, like this one. Imagine that you want this to end your path, for example. You want this. And this type of deductions, this type of local deduction are relevant because when you say that a thing is the end of the path, you are also saying that pieces of puzzle, pieces of the path that you knew you needed can't end there. So you must continue with those types, with those pieces. And so like the thing that I wanted to share is that every time you do some stuff in here, you are at the same time, via the time, the time rule of the fact that something happens before or after, or via the fact that your piece of path must connect, you are breaking something, or you could break something. Like in this case, for example, what happens to this? This one now must be taken by a horizontal segment, and this horizontal segment can't be to the left of this, because then I would take this one at most, because this one is free until I reach it, because it's the last step. So this one would be made just by this, and this one would be made by this, and this one would be made by this, because I can't make two things that go vertically, okay? But when I do that, what happens now? I can't go through here, because that would be a vertical step, and I know for sure that I can't go through here. That's the point. Or through here. I must go down. So I must go through here again. But when I do that, what happens to my puzzle? Why? Because of this cell. That was the last thing that I wanted to share with you. What happens to this cell? This cell now must be taken before by something that goes horizontally, okay? But when you do that, now that's the point of the whole thing. When you do that, what's going on? Well, okay, you can already tell that there is something spicy with this, but I guess that those could be taken by stuff that goes horizontally, okay? At this point. But you have problems with this cell and with this cell. Why I'm saying that? I'll try to show you. What happens, for example, if from this point I go up. I just can't. I go from down. I go up. I just can't because again it's broken. I can't go down. Why? Because going this way would take this one. This one is the only cell possible. But when you do that, how the hell are you taking this cell? You just can't. Why? Because this one would be recoiled by something that is horizontal and must be taken before you take this cell, because this cell is the last one you take. So this is broken. This means that you must do that. Sorry, that you must do that. But at this point, you have the same problem again. Why? Because now you can't go from here and you can't go from here for the same reason. Because you are using this, and now those two can't be taken by anything in the grid. So again, if you want this one, you must create this amount, this big amount of stuff. But this is 1, 2, 3, 4. And it is exactly, you have 5 here, okay? So you have only one way to go out of this, if this is the case. But now, and now it's important, how do you take this one? Because it's not this one that is the problem. It's the big amount here of, of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different things that must be recoiled from something horizontal. Because now again, this one is after. And so you need here stuff that goes to the left, but you don't have enough. So again, like in this case, I'm using so much times the time point, the time property. I used it here to say that I needed this. I use it here to say that I need this. And then I use it 1, 2, and 3 times because of what happens up here. And this whole thing, the only thing that this does is literally say that this one can't be the end. And again, I'm just saying that because sometimes you have very funky stuff that involves the fact that every time you make a step in one direction in the end of the path, or at least after a certain point in the path, you are creating some kinds of cul-de-sacs that are not just this one, but could be big amounts of cells. And yes, you can see that in this I was a bit more wordy, a bit more clear in explanation. Why? Because I knew this thing, because this puzzle, I made this puzzle, I published this puzzle, I worked on this puzzle for a lot of time. So that was easier for me, at least, to explain that kind of stuff, because I was here trying to find advanced ideas and funky ideas and stuff like that. So that's why I'm showing it to you. So like having this, that again is forced by just this, would create a problem in this entire row. Because you have those 5 things that must be recoiled. And why you can't recoil them from up? Well, because this one must be after. So you must leave this space, and so those can't be recoiled from above. They must be recoiled from horizontal, and you can't. And last thing I wanted to say, this thing just happens by this. So a little thing in the grid sometimes opens very, very, very big implications, and I just wanted to share. Yeah, so I think that's pretty much it. I don't know what else to say. I don't even know if anything I said was useful, but at least like this example, I don't think it was shown or so before. So yeah, that's it. And well, you have some puzzles to work with or to play with and have fun, at least. And sorry again for my errors and for the times I was not doing the right stuff. Sometimes it happens. And again, trying to explain it's not exactly the easiest thing ever, at least for me. So yeah. Sorry again. And well, I'm happy you were here for all this time. But yeah, I hope it will help in at least someone. So I will upload this VOD on YouTube so everyone can watch at it and watch at my errors, of course. But yeah, that's the difference on when I solve a puzzle that I know, or when I solve a puzzle that I made in like 2 minutes, just having some fun. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Thank you so much, and see you later. See you. I don't know which one it will be next time, but see you. Lots of insightful stuff. I mean, thank you for that. Really. Bye. No, should I? Oh, should I write someone? I see that there is Tomberry Java doing something, so maybe why not? Yeah. Let's try Tomberry. And bye again.
6 here. We're down to 1 place left for the 6 in here.